This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa, and if you are tuning in for the first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you have been listening to me for a while, then welcome back. Chances are you're listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or seeing me on the tube of you. So I'll try not to stare hard at you if you're looking at me. By the way, if you're watching me on YouTube, like, subscribe, share. Not only just on there, but share everywhere, whatever you're listening on. Share, 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 share. So I do want to thank those who have been listening for a while. I appreciate it. My socials are Facebook page, Dick and Conversation Podcast. My Instagram is Dick and Conversation underscore podcast. My email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And my YouTube channel is Dick and Conversation Podcast. I wanted to take my time with this episode and shout out to Astonishing Figures, who was my guest a couple weeks ago. If you haven't seen it, you have to go watch it on YouTube. I discovered that. The other streaming services, I could not load it because it was a live, because it was done live. I guess that's the issue. Got to tinker around with it. But go back, and if you haven't, listen to it. Please go and listen to it because Astonishing Figures brought up this amazing, um, she brought up this amazing clip. And we've been digging into it more and more. It's about respect over love for men. Men prefer to have respect over love, and women prefer to have safety over love, which was a shock to me. Now, I did my research on this and I reached out to a bunch of men who asked them, do they prefer respect over love? All but one. It's always one. It's a little different than everybody else, but that makes the world go round. So I really appreciated his viewpoint. He's something different. Um, because that's the way God made him. But he had a different perspective. He was just that one. But the overwhelming majority of men said they prefer to be respected over love. So, in order to give this a nice little balance to it, a little something else, a little salad to it, I reached out to women about the safety and love thing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, here I will pull up the clip when we're talking about safety over love, and we'll take a look at what they were saying. So here we go. Ah.
Women position themselves where it's like, well, I'll take safety over love.
Damn. Safety, huh?
So as long as I feel safe with you, I don't have to be in love with you. Because I'll marry the man that I respect before I marry the man that I'm in love with.
There are other kind of safeties. Like I said, there are not that. I wanted to stop there. So, woo, woo, woo. With that, I got wanted to know, okay, what kind of safety is it? What does that mean? So I put my feelers out and I asked, I don't know how many women. Like I asked, I don't know how many women, how does their man make them feel safe in a relationship? Or what kind of safety do they want in their relationship? And I got all sorts of answers because I asked all kinds of women. I asked women of all different ages and different races and different backgrounds and different experiences and different marital status. Some were divorced and some were going through divorce right now, and some were single and some had never been married and some were engaged and some were like me, they were a divorcee. But I wanted to have like a wide range of opinions and what it feels like to feel safe. And there was some very surprising answers that blew my mind. So if you see me looking over here, um, I have to, get notes because this is the first time or first, second time, a few times that I've actually had to make notes because I wanted to make sure I covered this topic good and did it justice for the women who responded. Now, here comes my disclaimer. This is not an episode where I'm going to bash men. This is not the men don't do this and men don't do that. Sorry, I got to drink water. My nephew turned me on to this um, Saratoga stale water. Still excellent. So this is not that episode where I'm going to bash men because that's not my stilo. I don't do that. But I did want to bring a certain awareness to men of the power they have when being in a relationship just by being them. Like, I think, oh, hell no. I know, I don't think I know. The majority of men have no idea the safety they provide by just being them in the way that they do things, how they do things, and the overwhelming security that it can bring to a woman from just the smallest of behaviors. So this is kudos. This is a kudos to men for those who are doing it. And for those who aren't, it's kind of like a light bulb, hopefully, like an Oprah used to call a aha moment. I miss Oprah, Lord have mercy. I mean, like the everyday Oprah, not the Oprah specials and them Oprah giveaways. But anyway, I want men to be aware because if you have that much power to provide that much security, I also want to point out how one little hiccup, one little slight thing that's totally unbeknownst, and I like that word, unbeknownst to you, how you can rip it or crack it or tear it down. And then when your woman is acting a little different, or she's moving strangely, or she's saying things you don't understand the why behind it, that's the why. So if you see me look off to the side, it is because I needed these notes. I needed to make notes to make sure I gave this the justice and the time that it needs. Because when I say these women responded, and women came with it. And my mind was blown. Do you hear me? So, kudos to all of the women who responded. I may not get to everybody's, but I'm hoping to touch a lot because it is so such a topic or such a feeling or such a occurrence that happens in relationships and people aren't even aware that it's happening. We're seeing the results of it, or when something goes wrong we see the results of it, but we don't even know the cause. And I want to point out the cause and what it looks like and what it feels like. I had a few women who were worried that they had given me too much information. And I had to tell them, no, 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 don't apologize because you're telling me what it looks like, what it feels like, what it is. And I'm just a person who believes the more information you give, the better you kind of can understand. So let me dive in. I'm diving in. The first one that I want to tackle was financial safety. And I specifically asked one young lady, she was young lady, fairly young. I asked her, what kind of safety do you get in your relationship? She said, financial safety, Lissa. And I went like, what the hell kind of gold digger answer is that? 'Cause that's the first thing went through my mind. Financial safety. Yeah, financial safety, financial security. And I went like, really? Because I'm thinking like you just concerned about the money. But she went on to explain when you have a man who's good with money, and you know he takes care of the bills. He knows how to take care of the bills. He doesn't waste money where we're struggling. He doesn't blow it on stupid stuff so that the needs aren't met. Then I can take care of everything else. It frees me up mentally to make sure that we plan our vacations, to make sure that he has food, to clean the house that I know how he wants it, to make sure that everything he wants when he gets home is there. It frees me up because I don't have to think about the money part. I'm not worried about the lights getting cut off. I'm not worried about the mortgage not getting paid. I don't have to worry about money. I went like, oh, okay. Now I understand. There was another woman who said the same thing. Like, yeah, yeah. Because she said, hey, I didn't get a chance to answer the question, but I'm here with you now. Let me talk to you and tell you, yeah, the finances. Like, I don't want to have to worry about money. If he got the money and he's taking care of things, that's my biggest worry that's gone. And then I can concentrate on other things. I can feel, have my emotional safety met because I can feel okay and I can take care of other things. And mentally, I'm not worried about money. I was blown because I thought that was like the biggest gold digger sack chasing answer. Like, how you just gonna say money, finance? But after they, first one and then the other explained it, I'm like, I understand that now. When I say it, it makes you understand how a woman can relax in a relationship and the power that men have. It's amazing. So if you are a man who knows how to spend your money, you know how to save money, you don't spend it on stupid stuff. At the end of the month, you're not coming up short. And I get it that, the whole come to the table, bring 50-50, all that's been a discussion for at least 5 years that I can count. But if you are a man who knows how to manage money and finances, it's a safety that you're providing. So, men who are good with money, that's pretty powerful. Women who recognize that that's their man's, that's his ministry. He good with money. I'm told about my ex-husband. That joker financially savvy. He good with a dollar. You talk about make a dollar out of 15 cents. Scott, kudos to you because you can make $5 out of a dime. So when you are in a relationship with somebody and they're good with money, it's a blessing. Now, there are women, because I've had a man who came back and I'd had this discussion, said, but there are women who blow money. And you have to worry about that. And there are some women out there love to shop and they spend money, foolishly and things like that. I get it. I get it. There are just people in relationships, period. That's not their ministry. That's not their ministry. So if you with a woman and she love to spend money and she blow money and things like that, then okay, yeah, I can understand how that may make you want to be there. Be that guy who's, financially savvy. Or if you got a man and he spends money just, not wisely and he blows it on things that are frivolous, I can understand why you would be that way. I get it. I get it. But I was happy to gain an understanding of what financial safety was and what it feels like and what it allows a woman to do. So, first one, financial safety. Then, wait. Another person told me about financial safety is I feel safe when I can leave my purse around a man. Is that the quote? I can trust him around my purse. So that's a, that's a safety all in its own. That trust is you around your purse. That's something because that is something that's your lifeline. And especially if you're a single mom or just a single woman and you rely on your money being your income to take care of your household and you have invited this person and their energy and their personality and their habits into your life, you want to be able to trust a person around your purse. They should be able to be around your finances. So when I read that one, I laughed because it's like, oh, you ain't trusting me. Yeah, that's pretty important. Then I was like, okay, I get it. I totally get it. So moving on. The next one was spiritual safety, which I was like, okay, yeah. So there were a few women who talked about spiritual safety, and I said, "Give me, tell me exactly." And then they wrote the book. They responded writing the book, which helped me understand what it feels like and what it looks like. So here's the thing: they explained to me that they get a spiritual safety if a man has his own relationship with God. And I was like, "Do tell more." If you have And if you are a religious person and you have your relationship with God, and I know quite a few women, they're like they carry the heavy weight of spirituality in the relationship. They pray for their man, they pray over their man, they pray for the kids, they pray for the household. They're the prayer warrior. But a few women said if he has his own relationship with God and he prays to God for himself, he'll pray for me. I don't have to pray as hard because he's praying. And that frees me up spiritually. I don't have to go to God with everything because I know this man is taking care of it because he got his own prayer life. He got his own spirituality. He got his own relationship with God. Not only is he praying for himself, he's praying for me. He's praying over our household. And I was like, what? When I say I was literally doing that, reading these responses in the bed, I was literally going like, what? I was so impressed with that. Here, let me read one quote from it. I was like, oh my God. It says, a man, let me see, where is it? 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 It was about a servant's heart. And I can't find it because I got so many quotes all over here. Oh, and it says, a man who's governed by God and he has his own personal relationship with God, that makes them feel spiritually safe. Another quote is, I love it when a man displays a servant's heart for me. He makes me feel secure. Like a servant's heart. That's just amazing to me. That you have your own relationship. I was like, okay. So I get it. Right on, right on. So men who have their own relationship with God, that's outstanding. I have a friend who has his own relationship with God. Not only does he has his own relationship with God, he has his relationship with God and he's helping me with my relationship with God. He sends me scriptures. He'll let me know to pray about something. He told me. Okay. Moment of transparency for me. I've been mad about something for a long time. And when I say mad, I mean I'm mad. I'm angry about it. I know what y'all finna say. Let it go. Pray about it. Yes, I get it. I've been praying about, okay, let me pray about it and I'm gonna get over it. And I'll pray for me because I'm not quite letting it go. I'm white knuckling, holding on. And they sent me, he sent me a scripture about bless those that curse you and pray for those who hurt you. And I read that. I was like, maybe maybe I need to pray for them. I've been praying for me. And I'm like, okay, God, let me let this go. But obviously, I'm not letting it go. I'm letting it go and then I'm reaching and grabbing and pulling it back. So I'm appreciative to receive that scripture. I'm really going to pray for them and pray, for myself again. Let it go. Damn it. Let it go. Because I ain't let it go. I've been holding on just like every day I wake up like with a whole nother, not all day, not every day, but longer than I should. Generally, I'm a person who gets over stuff real quick. Like I have a blow up, and then 10 minutes later, it's like, I forgot all about it. I'm a Gemini. As Geminis do, we act a fool. Then later on, I'm like, you want something? In 5 minutes after the blow up. But this one I've kind of been holding on to. But I appreciate that this spiritual warrior is growing in his growth and then trying to get me to grow in mine. I'm gonna get there. So I get it, the spiritual safety. Men who have their own relationship with God, and men. I know a lot of you all praying, just your girl just don't know. Let her know. Like, hey, when she's, having a bad day, like, babe, I pray for you. Or because here's the thing, in relationships, and I know me as a woman, and I'm sure I think women do this more than men. We come home and talk about our day. It's like, oh, we had a good day and this happened and that happened, but when we have a bad day, we talk about that too. Like, oh, this happened and she did this and and men hear it. Here's the thing. If you want to score some bonus points, men, if your girl do that, say, hey, babe, I'm praying for that. Praying for you on that. And literally pray about it. I mean, you ain't got to go right now and grab her by the hand and fall on your knees. But let her know you praying about it. If you praying about it, like, even if you praying because you just tired of hearing it, like, God give us some good days at work, so I don't have to hear about it. I dated two men who told me, I'm tired of hearing you being stressed at work. One told me to quit your job and, going back to school. That was my ex-husband. And the other one was like, quit your job. You go find a new one. He told me that twice. And I did it because I was stressed. So I know I'm one of those people who come home and complain about the day. But, that's, if you have that, men, that's something that's powerful. You have that. So women who have those men who praying for them and praying for themselves, kudos. All right. Physical, physical safety. And I've already talked about this a little bit about being physically abusive. I've never been in a physically abusive relationship. I've said this several times. However, I have demonstrated physical abuse. Um, Once again, shout out to Rail and to Kat and the Women of Purpose podcast, how we tackled domestic violence and how that happens. One of the women said that she wants to have physical safety. She was working and she would worry about coming home late, even if it's just stopping by the gas station to get gas and coming home late, because that could lead to something being physically abusive. And if you have a man who reassures you that he's not going to put his hands on you, that he won't be abusive to you, whether, especially physically, um, that's something that gives an overwhelming peace and safety, not just, physically. That also affects you mentally, emotionally. You don't have to feel afraid. You don't have to think about, I need to hurry up and get home. It frees your mind. It frees your emotions and you're, not always worrying and the stress level of it. So the physical safety is extremely important. Um, if you are in an abusive relationship, please seek safety. I think the number is 1-800-877-SAFE. I'll make sure I put that up in the captions to have that the actual number for those that may be in a domestically violent relationship. So physical safety is one of those things. On a just even smaller note, how physical safety can play in a relationship. I had someone says when they double check the locks in the house, when they turn on the garage lights inside the house, to turn on the lights inside the house or turn on the lights in the garage so that I can feel physically safe coming home and it's dark. Because we're hitting that time of the year where it's dark for most people. If you go to work early, it's dark when you leave. When you get home, it's dark when you get home. And having that kind of security and safety in mind, that's overwhelming. So nobody wants to come home to a dark house. That's why we have all these things called Alexa and all these Google lights, and you say and turn them on, or these apps to turn on the lights in your home, particularly when you're a woman or if you live alone. You want to have that physical safety of not harm or danger. Um, One woman said that she now, because she's in this relationship, her physical safety is no longer a factor when she just takes a road trip. She now has this whole thing where she can relax with his driving, so much so she can go to sleep. And if anybody, y'all heard me talk about my mama driving, talk about that driving, my mama, woo, you be afraid. But if you have that, where you worry about being hurt physically in a road trip with someone, but you finally have that freedom, that safety, that nothing will come to you in your harm while you're driving, then that's a safety on a whole nother level. I don't think I've ever told this. My ex-husband, Scott, you'll know I ain't lying when I tell this. My ex-husband's from Baltimore, and the ride from Michigan to Baltimore is like maybe 8, 9 hours, depending on how fast you're going, traffic, construction, such and such. Well, we used to drive through the Ohio and Pennsylvania mountains, and when I'm saying driving, I mean he's driving and he's snoring. Yeah, he's the driver, and he's snoring behind the wheel, doing 70, 80, snoring. He just told me a few weeks ago, yeah, I don't do that no more. I'm going to Baltimore soon. He said, I don't do that no more. You can ride with me. Shit. With the D on the end. SHID. Shit. No, I've had that experience. So when I read the comment of being able to fall asleep and being physically okay, baby, you preaching to the choir, because there is nothing like being in a vehicle doing 80, 90 on the turnpike and the driver is snoring. So I'm needless to say, I didn't go to sleep. Not on them trips. I was up when he was up. I was up when I was up. At a certain point, I was like, I got it, I drive. They're like, no, I got it. No, I got it. And I started driving to and fro because, like I said, that's an experience I don't need to have. Now again, but come to find out, he has sleep apnea. He's got it taken care of. So he says he don't do it anymore. Yeah, I'm willing to believe him. I gotta ask his girlfriend if he still does that, because if he does, she going right to the top of my prayer list. But he says he don't do it. I'm hoping he does. He doesn't. But that's the physical safety. Now, sexual safety. And I was like, okay, I need you to explain this one. Because, like I said, there are tons of safeties. I don't know them all. I don't know them all. Like, because I don't, every woman feels differently of what makes her feel safe. And men don't realize the things that they do to make a woman feel safe. So when I went like sexual safety, I needed some details. And once she explained it, I went like, oh, we as women judge our bodies already. We always think like, oh, I'm fat, I want to lose weight. If my booty was bigger, if my breast was bigger, if my stomach was flatter. That's I'm talking about myself. I don't know about nobody else. But those are the things that we as women already judge about our bodies. And not only our bodies, but other folks' bodies too. And Instagram, with those Instagram models and these, BBLs and everything and done, it didn't help. So if you have a slight insecurity to see that online, it heightens it more. So the sexual safety is when a man does not judge your body because you're already judging. And if you don't hear judgment on your body and you feel comfortable and sexy in your body, I was like, oh, you feel safe with who you are and what you look like. You feel sexy to yourself, which now you're sexy to him. And I went like, okay, I got it. After she explained it in detail, I went, oh, I got it. So, men, if you mention something slightly negative about a woman's body and how it may change, like, you got a little pooch coming, or, you get a little thick around the middle, or, your boobs, they used to sit up, they sag a little bit, you're removing sexual safety. And I don't have to say this. Well, hell, maybe I do. When you feel sexy, it's a different kind of vibe. I'm speaking for me. When I feel sexy, oh, it's a whole nother something. You get another different kind of Lissa. When I feel sexy, and I'm pretty sure most women too, when we feel sexy, you get another woman. You get another level. You get that, or babe, let's swing from the ceiling. Like, all right. I told you about this story. I end up in the dog collar. And if you don't know that story, go back to the episode called "The Do Something Dude." That's something different. I was really feeling sexy. That's sexy. Yeah. So anyway, that was something I went like, oh, I get it. You have to feel safe. It's a safety in feeling sexy. It's a safety in when men compliment your body. It's a safety in when they can point out, okay, that looks good on you, or baby, that thickness looks good, or your skin is glowing, you looking good today, like what is it? That makes her feel safe. But she also went on to explain the flip side of when I don't feel safe sexually, and it feels different when I lay on his chest. I feel different when I lay on his chest. It feels like there's a different connection. This hair, I'm getting it done in 2 days. But there's a different connection when you don't feel safety. And I had another woman who told me kind of the same thing. And here's the thing that men should know. If a woman doesn't feel sexually safe, it begins to feed into her mentally safe and emotionally safe. So here's the thing, what it does. Everybody lean in. Like they say in church, lean in. When you don't feel sexually safe, if you don't feel like you're sexy to your men, if your woman does not feel sexy to you, she begins to think. Mental safety has now went away. And the woman who is telling me this says when one starts to crack, it feeds and cracks the others. So if she don't feel sexually safe, she now doesn't feel mentally safe, and she begins to think, if I'm not sexy to you, then what is? Who is? And then that feeds into the emotionally safe, where the insecurity lays. So when you wonder like, man, why is she always worried about somebody else? Why she think I'm looking at somebody else? Why? Somewhere there's been a crack in another safety, and it fed into that one. So if she starts feeling insecure and she think you looking at this girl and this woman, and then she thinking, oh, okay, if I don't do this, what you out doing? Where you at? The insecurity could come from, because it could be other things, could come from her sexual safety has been depleted. She don't feel sexy to you. And if I don't feel sexy to you, or I don't look sexy to you, what does? Who does? And I went like, oh, that's true. That's true. So when that happens, you have to unlock it and keep that sexiness rolling. So I'm gonna play this clip, which also speaks about how you get what you get when you kick it up a whole nother notch, when that safety is there. So here we go. I want you to look at this.
Yo, one of the things I learned about women far too late in life is you unlock a different woman. Inside that woman, the safer she feels inside the relationship with you. And oftentimes we be taught as men that safety means financial and physical safety, but now in 2024, it's emotional safety. And that's the part that we lack. Brother, is it safe enough for her to be vulnerable with you? Do you make it safe enough for her to trust you? Oftentimes we don't. We be moving suspicious as hell, and we wondering why that woman don't want to sleep with us. That woman do not want to open up to us. That woman don't want to be submissive to us. Bruh, you ain't providing clarity. You ain't being consistent. You are not emotionally in tune with your family, and you wondering why this woman is closed off. I'm saying the lesson I learned far too late in life is you unlock a different type of woman the more levels you unlock in yourself. It's time for Time for us to learn to be vulnerable. It's time for us to be in tune and provide safety, not just financially and physically. Bruh, I know you can fight. But can you fight those demons that keep haunting her inside that relationship with you? My point is, if you want a soft woman, if you want a supportive woman, if you want a woman that gives you her best, you got to unlock it with safety inside that relationship. Yo, one of the things I learned about women.
So, Ace Metaphor, I don't know if you all know who Ace Metaphor is. Ace Metaphor is with Tonight Conversation. It's a panel that travels the country and they give a lot of good advice, relationship advice to men and women and things like that, giving different perspectives. Women give information on women's perspective, men give men on men perspectives. So, I this was sent to me, and thank you for the woman who sent it to me. My goal was to keep everything totally anonymous as I received the information and quotes and things like that. But when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, yeah, that's right. So that's why I was saying, like, you really do get a different woman when she feels sexually safe, when she feels emotionally safe and mentally safe. And that's why I want to touch on mental safety last and emotional safety. Those two kind of feed together because you either think and it feeds your feelings, or you feel and then you start thinking. And if you've been in a relationship, as many of us have, or in a relationship, as many of us have been, or are, or just got out of, or headed into one, whatever's going on, you know what I'm saying. So in doing this, one of the safeties that you had, that he was mentioned about mental and emotional things like that, I had someone who told me, make sure you say this, that I need a man who will defend me in and out of the room that I'm in when I'm not in the room. And I talked about that was my safety. That is the safety that I need probably more than anything, that you protect me, that you stand up for me. One woman said, I need a man who not only will stand beside me, but he may stand before me if something's coming. If something is about to happen in a situation, he not only stands by me, but stands before me. He's my protector. He guides me and shields it. And I was like, okay, yeah. But I understood that. If your safety is, I need to know that when I'm not in the room, my name is not mud. Like I said on the previous episode, like you be like, nah, I know you feel that way about her, but I gotta like her. You won't let someone just talk about me when I'm in the room, when I'm out the room, when I ain't never coming back in the room. It does that. It does create a little something where you can go like, okay, I can trust him. I can trust him. Um, let's see. It says, I got some other quotes. The behavior matched the words in and out of my presence. That's kind of the same thing. An awareness of my kids. I need to have that. That is an emotional safety on a whole nother level. When you're involving children and you have children and your children are now meeting the person in your life. If you don't know, if you want a better idea, go back to episode Coffee Talk 1, 2, and 3, where Coffee, the person, not the drink. I keep saying that. She talked about being a single mom and getting back into dating life and understanding how to have the balance of I'm dating someone that I care about and I'm also a mom. So that was one that came out. I need an awareness for my kids. I need someone to know, and I get it. I'm a single mom. I have children, and even though they're young adults, as still my kids, I need to be secure and have that safety, emotional safety, that I can relax when this person is around, or that I can relax and they can meet my children, and I feel okay. I don't have to overthink it. Mental safety, and I can say how I feel, psychological safety, and I can feel relaxed, emotional safety, feel thinking and all that good stuff. So I understood that. So let's see. What, throw another one in there. Uh Here's one that threw me. It was one who said, I haven't felt secure in a relationship ever. And I know this person pretty good. Strong woman, secure, you know, business owner, outspoken, funny, talented, like the whole thing. And to say I've never felt secure, safe in a relationship ever, I'm not exactly even sure how to address it. Like, what does it look like? What do you need from him to make you feel safe when you get into a relationship? And I think if you've never had it, I've had it for maybe a month. I had it once. I had it once. About a month. About a month, I felt safe to the word. Then that next month, I was like, "What the heck is this?" But I can totally relate to that too. Um, when you haven't had it ever, what is it supposed to look like? It's supposed to look as if you they consider you. Men, if you consider her, if you ask her opinion, if you're transparent. Now, I'm gonna pump my brakes on this one. Transparency. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people underestimate how powerful transparency can be in a relationship when you give in the upfront. If you let me know, and I think I have a one on here that's saying, "Don't let me get blindsided." Like, give me the information, let me know. I don't want to be blindsided in something. Um, that's something that is important. Like, you are upfront, but you got to know yourself. You could, like I say, you got to know if you can handle the truth. I'm one, I can handle the truth. I've been in two situations where I needed to know all the gory, ugly details, and I wanted to know them all. And I got them, and I was okay. That was the best part. That we were at our best when I was getting full transparency of text message and pictures and whatever. I knew, and I felt emotionally safe because I getting a little bag under my eye, because I knew there was the transparency. So I think a lot of people underestimate transparency of, hey, I ran into my ex-girlfriend, she talked to me at the store. It's nothing about it, but I just want to let you know just in case you heard about it because I ran, that kind of thing. Or, I got a text message from my ex, da da da. Okay, that's pretty good. Or, my ex-wife, something going on with our daughter. I need to go over there. You want to ride with me? You want her to come over here if you can handle that. Now, I don't want no police type of situation. But transparency can deflate a lot of insecurities. So a person who's never had it, that's pretty bad. And I'm hoping that she finds that because she's awesome. I had one say I'm a seasoned vet. I said, girl, we both are. I'm a multi Purple Heart vet. So I need faithfulness. And I know the backstory is the reason why that was stated. And I think the majority of us, women and men, there's some men out there too, needs faithfulness. To think that men haven't been wounded or been cheated on is just delusional. However, men do take it worse than women. We forgive some of us. The men be like, she done. She was never born to me. I don't know her. I don't know anybody that looked like her. I never met her. She cheated on me. But that's kind of one of those things. So, faithfulness. If you can get that faithfulness is an amazing relationship saver. It goes along with transparency. Faithfulness, hey, that gives all the safeties a boost. Be emotionally available. It's kind of like what Ace Metaphor said. If you can unlock yourself and be vulnerable with women, you will get a safety out of her and a support from her that is unparalleled. Um, this is my little thing myself. Um, One way I tend to get a better understanding of the men that I've dated is to have them tell me stories, often of their past when they was little and young, and then I can kind of get an understanding, like, oh, because chances are they're going to leave with one that has a very strong memory, either good or bad, and you get a better understanding. If you listen to the story closely, you can feel the emotion out of it, and then you can also see, like, oh, that's why he that way. That's why he won't eat my cooking because his ex-girlfriend once made him some spaghetti and he threw up for 2 days. We're like, oh, I get it now. Know why he don't eat okra no more because it wasn't all the way fried with the batter and that kind of thing. Where you get those stories. So here's a word of advice. This is not just for men and women, and not for just for women, but for men also. If you want to know about the person you with, have them tell you stories of their past. Not nothing that's gonna make you mad and have you all arguing and fighting, but just like, hey, well, what was it like when you was in middle school, junior high school, blah blah blah. Tell me about your prom night, prom date, blah blah blah. Then you can kind of get a little insight to something about them. Being emotional available. Men, something simple. Here's the power. When you're upset about something and you can actually reveal that to your woman, that's pretty powerful. When you're emotionally available, you saying, I'm not feeling right, or I'm not feeling this person, or something going on at work, or I'm feeling frustrated about this, or even if you learn how to talk to your partner about your frustration. Remember though, state the action, tell how it made you feel, what it made you think, and then ask them, is that what you intended to make me think or feel? And allow them to be accountable of the action and then clarify it or confirm it. That's how you disagree without arguing. Like, when you cut me off when I was talking, did that mean you didn't want to hear what I had to say? Are you done talking? You tired of talking to me? You did cut me off. You can't deny it. Like, I didn't cut you off. Yeah, you did. That's an action. They can't deny it. They're accountable for it. You say what it made you feel, then allow them to clarify. That's my. I'll need to start giving that on everyone, every episode. Okay, so next one. I can trust him to be responsible and in all facets, and that I can literally put my well-being in his hands if needed, and have that extended to my son as well. When you have a child, if they look out for you and your child, that's the safety that's emotional, that's the safety that is mental. You don't have to worry about it, you don't have to feel scared about it, you don't have to be afraid of it, you don't have to have anxiety. Men, if you are concerned about your woman, also be concerned about her child. It's nothing even major. Like, you good, you know, little man good. That's amazing. It's powerful. You don't have to go through a whole deep thing like, oh, you sick, or. No, you good. This little man good. What's wrong, little man? He's sick. Okay. What's wrong with Junior? What's wrong? Is he okay? Did he go to the doctor? Extend it. It's a simple thing. You may think it, but never say it. If you get to say it, that security goes up. It's like, oh, okay, he does. And like I say, a lot of times you may think it, but you just didn't ask it. If you ask it, there's a reassurance, there's a safety there. So another quote. Um, Tell me about the situations. Oh, this was a good one. A man that makes me feel safe personally, by conscious reassurance. Simple acts like when you get off work. If you get off work at 8 p.m., you call at 5. You call to make sure they got home. You don't just be like, oh, okay, I'll call you when you get home, and then you don't hear from them for the whole day. Check in just to make sure they're good. Just to make sure they're good. And that makes you feel okay. I've had, it's so sad to say, I've dated people. I'm in the hospital. And then when I get out, hey, what you doing today? Like, you do know I've been in the hospital, right? Okay, I guess you ain't want to check on me in the hospital. Woo! I've been in the swamp, y'all. I've been in the swamp. So that's so awful. Oh, here's one. He keeps people out of our business, especially his mother. Now, I'm a girl mom. I mean, I'm a girl mom. I'm a boy mom also. And I have been saying, Lord, I hope I love my daughter-in-law. I'm afraid I'm not, because I want my son to be a strong man who is in charge of his household. I mean, not meaning run his wife, but meaning saying, okay, if we make this decision, I'll accept the consequences if it doesn't go right because I'm responsible for the household. But at the same time, be like, okay, if things go well, I'd like it to be him to lead. So I get it. Now, my mother-in-law, unfortunately, had passed before I got married, but my ex-husband was a big old mama's boy. I know for a fact. I know for a fact that had she still been alive when we were married, I don't know if she'd have liked me as much as she did, because her baby could do no wrong. And at a particular point, that joker couldn't do no right. So I really am. But if you have a mama's boy for a husband, partner, boyfriend, and he's able to keep his mom at bay and understand that you come first, kudos. Men, if you are going to your mama about everything in your relationship, please stop. Please don't do that, because your mom should not, your wife should not compete with your mom. That's not something. Don't put her in that position of you going to your mom, you telling her things about the relationship. Your mom's going to give advice, and then she's probably going to lean and fall your way because you're her son. But if you can keep your mom out of the business, that's absolutely wonderful. I talked to another woman who says, I asked her how her husband gives her security. She said, because he puts me before everybody, before our kids, before his family, before my family. He puts me first above everybody. And I love that about him, that I could feel safe with him knowing that he's going to look out for us and he's going to look out for me. And I was like, okay, that's how it is supposed to be. I mean, especially when you're married, that's how it is supposed to be. So if you keeping your mom out of y'all business, woo, it's kudos. But if you not keeping your mom out of y'all business, then don't do that. Because then you'll wonder why when you have this argument, she bring up your mama. No, you tell your mama this, and your mama probably said this. Or if she goes to your mom, and when you do something wrong, then your mom brings it up to you because you got your mom in there. Don't do that. Supporting my dreams and being my biggest hype man, seeing me as an equal. That gives that mental and emotional safety beyond anything you can even imagine. I'm your equal, ride or die, partner, homie, lover, friend. That is a safety that's on a whole nother level. So I've gone through some of it. It was too many of them. Like I said, it was amazing to have this. Um, I think thank you once again, Astonishing Figures, for giving me this idea to go over. Thank you to all the women who gave me amazing quotes, who gave me ideas, who gave me clarity, who gave me a lot of information of what it's supposed to look like, what it's supposed to sound like, what it's supposed to feel like, how it makes you feel. So I appreciate all you women who have provided input. Men, I know y'all, some of you all are gonna reply. Yeah, well, y'all had that chance. I'm not doing this anymore. So I'm just kidding. I'm probably going to move on to this topic next week. I probably going to probably my intent is to talk about the election, and it's not really about the election. It's more about my grandmother. Next week's episode, I'm going to talk about my grandmother on my mother's side, my maternal grandmother, Danny Bell. So that's in a whole nother something something. And it's not necessarily about the election, but yeah, I've been watching election stuff all the time. But ladies who provided input, thank you. Astonishing Figures, thank you. I truly, truly, truly appreciate it. Men who gave me input on the respect versus love, you guys were astounding. I have better insight now of why you prefer the respect over love because you feel it lasts longer. Because if you can list the things, and this is my big takeaway from that, because that was mind blowing to me. If you can list the things that you love about a person, they all can go away. Everything that you list, say, "Oh, I love you because this, that, and the other," it can all go away. If it's because you're smart, something can happen with your mind, and you don't have that knowledge anymore. If it's because you're shaped well, you can lose, you can gain weight, lose weight, something, your body can become disfigured, and you don't have that shape anymore. If it's because, oh, you have this beautiful hair, not mine, because this will be gone and switched out in a couple of days, because this ain't even here that I know of. But whatever it is, if you can list it, it can all go away. But the respect lasts longer. I got an understanding of it, but I'm still a proponent for love. I'm still I'm a love person. So, I'm just, that's just me. So I appreciate it. Men, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think I'm going to close out this topic finally. That's my intent. But men, thank you for providing input on the topic when it was your turn on the respect over love. Astonishing figures, thank you. I appreciate it. What's for the men? Clicked on these special effects. That was for the men and astonishing figures. And once again, I am Elissa. This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. You've been listening to me on Amazon, Pandora, iHeart, Spotify, or looking at me on the tube of you. Once again, my socials are Facebook, Dick and Conversation Facebook page. My Instagram is Dick and Conversation _podcast. My Gmail is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And my YouTube page. Like, subscribe, share. I remembered it now. And also share with others, others formats. Other formats? Yeah, streaming services as well. Dick and Conversation podcast channel. I'm Elissa, and I will see you next week.